Hello and welcome to Finextra. I'm Josie Waite and I'm here at the SAP FSI Forum with Chris Baker from Concur, and we are talking about expense compliance. Thank you for joining me, Chris.
Pleasure.
Why does expense management create such a potential headache for institutions?
The first thing to think about is that up to 10% of operational expenditure is down to discretionary spend and things like expenses. And at Concur we feel that in actual fact the expense management process hasn't really changed much over the last 20 years. It's one of those processes in business that time and technology has forgotten. So if you take the user that's out in the field doing their expenses, it tends to be still a very manual process, very arduous process, lots of receipt handling, lots of paper handling. And then if you look at the accounts department, if it's manual, they can't really do things like check for policy compliance, do things like VAT reclaim if they're able to do that. And then if you look at policy compliance in relation to bribery and fraud, you can't really check that if it's a manual process.
What role do end-to-end expense management solutions play in tackling this challenge?
So what we do at Concur, we basically automate the entire process, so the expense reports build themselves. So I'll give you a few examples. So we think that receipts aren't really necessary. In the case of myself, I connected my Uber account to my Concur account. So whenever I have an Uber ride, the receipt automatically comes in and the expense report builds itself. If I ever use any of our preferred partners like British Airways or intercontinental hotel groups, the same thing happens, the receipts come in automatically. Now occasionally I might be with a vendor that can't give me an e-receipt, like a London cab. So we have apps, you just take a picture of it using the app, and the app actually reads the content of that receipt and pre-populates my expense claim for me. So basically that means that the software itself can check for compliance at the point of the expense. And if it's integrated with a travel system as well, it's almost impossible to book anything that's out of policy. And because it's all electronic, it's all reporting, it's all data, what happens is the finance department can then use that data in a far more intelligent way rather than just paper handling manually.
How can we quantify the value of expense management solutions in terms of cost and policy compliance?
Well, third parties have actually said that there's a 250% return on investment when it comes to using an automated expense management system. So that's what the third parties are saying. Now, when we look at building a business case for clients, we look at everything. So we even look at the productivity of the users. You may have heard of expense days. So some people get so many expenses that they accumulate during the month. They have to have a whole day out of the office, unproductive, doing that. Obviously, with an automated system, they don't need to do that. The expense report builds itself. Then if you look at the finance department, they're constantly looking for hints about how they can save money. And it's very hard to do that unless you've got an automated system where the policies are embedded in the software itself. So we know a lot of our clients, after they've implemented a system, are saving between 10 and 25% on their T&E costs. And if that's 10% of operational expenditure, that's a huge tangible return.
That's great. Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching.